Yo, what's up everybody, it's your boy J-Rock. Welcome back to the channel. Now today I was kind of taking a look through the shelf, seeing what I feel like reading, right? So let's just skim through it and see what we grab. Alright, so there's my badass Conan statue. This is the Mesco one. Has a little sword here, real detailed. I should do a video on it someday. You could interchange pieces and whatnot, right? But I like this, the no helmet and the axe. Looks more like a barbarian, right? But you could put a sword and make him look with armor and whatnot. Right next to the omnibuses, it fits perfect because it's right the right size, right? Told myself I wasn't gonna collect the Batman books, and then I got these, the No Man's Land ones came out, and I was like, nah, I gotta collect some of these omnis. But before I just had this one and that one, they're really good. Those two are two solid picks as far as Batman omnis. You really don't need all these other ones. With those two, get some great stories. My Ninja Turtle stuff. Oh, you know what? The Daredevil Chip Zdarsky is gonna come out, and I've been hearing a lot of hype. It's been getting a lot of love in the comic community and the Facebook groups, and so I'm hype. I'm gonna blind buy it. I never read it. It's gonna be total blind buy. This I've never read either, and it's also by Chip Zdarsky. So I think I'm gonna go with this one. Right now, nothing's organized right now, right? A lot of stuff isn't organized. So yeah, I decided to start collecting Batman and Spider-Man omnibuses, and I don't know if I want to collect every single one, but I'm gonna pick and choose as I read. So this is the Chip Zdarsky stuff. So let's read it so we can kind of prepare for the Daredevil one when it comes out. All right, check out the cover. This is the cover without the dust jacket. It's a whole 2-page spread type thing. Here's Venom, Spider-Man. Let's fold it normal. This would be the back cover. Pretty cool. We got Dr. Octopus, Green Goblin, all his like rogues gallery. And over here we have Spider-Man in the black costume, more Spider-Man. So all this is Spider-Man, the other one's the villains. Alright, let's check what this book has right here. This says it has Spectacular Spider-Man 1 through 6 from the 2017 series. It has issues 297 to 310 from the original series, so that would be the end of Spectacular Spider-Man. So that's another 13 issues, which would be, I guess, another story arc. And it has Spider-Man Life Story 1 through 6. That's gonna be another story. And Spider-Man Shadows 1 through 5. So we're gonna get about 5 stories right here in a pretty chunky book. You know, it's an omnibus. All you to collect omnibuses, you're familiar with them. So yeah, let's get to it. All right, so let's flip through the pages here. Get this right here, the creators and whatnot. Right away in the beginning, I'm not the biggest fan of the way the art looks right here. It's okay, it's just not my favorite. But there's nothing actually like wrong with it. Just kind of busy, like a lot of panels the way they're done and all that. So they're having a chat right here, right? You know, him and Mary Jane and whatnot. This page looks badass. Big 2-page spread. Boom! That's what Spider-Man's all about. You get a lot of these types of pages when you're reading Spider-Man comics, right? I don't know if they used to do this before Todd McFarlane, but they definitely did this a lot after Todd McFarlane. He seems to have this new suit, like with this, look at the spiderweb thing with this like blue outline. I don't believe he had that before. So here he's fighting a Vulture. Make a few jokes about, boom, look, he hits him right, bam! And then he's talking about how he's being an old man, like Vulture should just, you know, call it quits. It's kind of old, time to retire. You can't, you know, when you're living that lifestyle of a criminal, like, the streets have an expiration date, and he's been hanging on a little too long. You know, like an athlete that did, you know, Shaq or something with the Celtics. Like, you're playing longer than you should, you know? Right here, when the next issue starts, I find this interesting. It shows you the cover, but it doesn't have, like, the title here, right? It has it over here on the side. It's as long as you let us know what issue it is. Spectacular Spider-Man issue 1. But then it gives you the name of that story arc, which is pretty cool. I kind of like that. So yeah, that's the way each cover will look. Here's Falcon. So I guess during this era or this run, Falcon is Captain America. He has the Captain America suit. Let me know what you guys think about the suit itself. I kind of like it. I like the Falcon Captain America suit. I'm not a huge fan of that red suit. I find it kind of simplistic. So I'm kind of glad they, you know, did something with it and make it like a little more modernized, if you will. I found pretty interesting. It's kind of cool. I want to see what they do with this. Turns out Peter Parker has a sibling. This is his sister. Right? It says Sister X. So that's his like long lost sister. It's not really clear if it's his real sister or not. Either way, we're being introduced to this new character. And this is, I believe, Ironheart. but she's rocking the Iron Man suit. So later down the road, I think she gets a similar suit, but it's purple and yellow instead of red and yellow. And her having like her own costume, kind of like War Machine has the gray one. So I like that she eventually gets her own costume that maybe slightly does things different. I'm not sure because I don't follow Iron Man that much. But yeah, so we got these two new characters. That's pretty cool. And her suit, I was looking and kind of like Falcon. She's an outfit, right? She has wings and whatnot. All right, done with the first story arc of 5 issues. Now it gets renumbered again back to the original Spectacular Spider-Man count, right? This first 5 issues were really good. We got a lot of character development from JJ, meaning Jonah Jameson, right? He's always been a pain in the ass to Spider-Man, right? He's always been trying to ruin his rep and whatnot. But here it shows that he was like a legit villain at times, like where he wears this robot suit and he's actually like a villain that physically fights Spider-Man. I didn't know that. So that was kind of crazy. Like it touches back on previous stories. Found that interesting. The main actual villain is some guy Thinker. He's B-list villain. Honestly, let's be realistic. All of Spider-Man's villains are mostly B-list, right? So when we talk about Rogues Gallery with Batman and Spider-Man, Batman's Rogues Gallery is a lot more dangerous. Spider-Man's villains are kind of weenies, right? They're kind of like your B-listers. Rhino, Scorpion, Shocker. They're not that cool when you read on them, but they have cool costumes though. JJ is a lot more interesting. So here we got the Falcon and all that, and the real main characters is Thinker and JJ. And it turns out JJ admits he's always looked up to Spider-Man, and that's why he's jealous and hates him because he wishes he could be him, right? And he breaks down crying, admitting this to Spider-Man. I was like, holy crap, like, you know, because he had a girlfriend that died and he couldn't save her. So he's jealous how Spider-Man saves people. He wishes he could have done that. JJ's not a pushover. He's kind of a bossy guy, but he's not a superhero, right? So he couldn't save her. She got killed by a mugger. All right, here's the Thinker again. Now it turns out this other character, Thinker was controlling that character as well. He was inside him. It was a robot and whatnot, right? So that story arc ends there. Now we get to the next one, starting from Spectacular Spider-Man 300. It goes all the way up to like 312, I believe. So yeah, here we have all the villains. Shocker and Vulture and Beetle. This time Beetle is a new Beetle. It's a girl. And these other two guys, Whiplash, he has a completely different costume, and I don't think I'm familiar with that character. But yeah, this is it's still kind of the continuation to that story arc, really. Starts getting kind of, oh, here's the Ironheart and the Iron Man suit. But it starts kind of getting lame over here because it becomes all this time travel stuff, and I'm not a fan of time traveling. I kind of like it in X-Men with Cable and Bishop. I could kind of deal with it because I follow X-Men a lot. So outside of X-Men, when it's done like in other books, I'm not a big fan of it. I don't like it. It gets confusing. It does, and then it reprograms things to where they never happen. So it's like, oh, why even read that part? It never happened. It's just a mess. I don't like it. So that happens here in the rest of this story arc. So we're just gonna skip this one. This one wasn't that great. All right, the next story arc is with Sandman. It's called The Hourglass. I really enjoyed this one, guys. The art is kind of interesting. Look at the panels and all this white. It definitely gives it a feel. And then even the art style looks kind of old school and scratchy, but it's meant to look that way. I really enjoyed the art and I like the story. It's smaller in scale. It's not like the end of the world and you gotta go back in time to save everybody. It's nothing like that, but it's just interesting. Get to know a little bit about Sandman. I really liked Sandman in the Spider-Man movie. The only good thing about Spider-Man Part 3 was Sandman, to me personally. So here, you know, always wanted to know more about that character. It turns out he's turning more and more into Sand, where he can't hold a physical figure, and he's dying. But it's just a good story, like, cause he makes it. He talks to Spider-Man, lets him know I'm dying, and they're talking like as friends, like not as villains, right? He goes, we went through a lot together, Spider-Man. You were a big part of my life. And Spider-Man's like, you know what? Sandman was never a bad guy. He just did bad things because he was dealt a bad hand. And then I really enjoyed that, like the way they were talking about the character. And at the end, it turns out he doesn't really die; just his physical body dies. So, but he's still alive. It's just that Sand, he cannot be human anymore, right? So he has to figure a way to kind of fix that, I guess. And the art it really fit the tone of the story. It wasn't really a superhero story per se, and the art isn't really what you expect, right, from like comic book superhero type stuff. This is like a different type of art. Like this art definitely would work in a different type of book. So yeah, that's pretty crazy. I really enjoyed this one. Look, here he is. He's turning like glass or whatever, right? Because you know Sand can turn to glass. Look, the hourglass. Holy shit. Let's talk about this story. It's called Life Story. It's a 6-issue story arc. Man, this was good. This is like a must read in my opinion. If you've never read Spider-Man, we all know who the character is, but you maybe don't know about his stories, his, you know, what makes Spider-Man and whatnot, what's his thing. Read Spider-Man Life Story by Chip Zdarsky. This was good. So it's 6 issues, and it covers, the first issue covers the 60s, second issue covers the 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000, and so on and so on. So every issue covers 10 years, right? And you see Spider-Man getting older. That's the way comics should be told, but I get it. We have to leave these characters, they have to live forever, right? I get that. But man, if they did it this way, this is real cool what they did here. So once Spider-Man starts getting to his 50s, he's ready to retire, and you start having Miles Morales come in as the new Spider-Man, right? That's kind of what they should do with our comics, right? Have them age in real time. Once they get older, have the new guy take the mantle or whatnot, right? Because it's going to be 40 years, 30 years before they get old, right? So we will still have them for the majority of our lifetime. It will be that same character. You know what I mean? It won't really affect us that much. And it'll be nice to see them age and whatnot. So this was like a really good idea. I like what he did here. They keep getting older, and you get all the continuity of Spider-Man. It's slightly changed and whatnot, but it's all the main stories. This would have been real cool if instead of every issue covering like 10 years, if every issue just covered 1 year, right? So for 40 years or whatever that it covered here, 40 issues, right? That would have been better. Like you could like develop the stories a little more. But man, this was a total 10 out of 10. Just you would buy this omnibus just for this story is worth it. It's really good, man. If you had to buy one Spider-Man omnibus, this really won me over. I think this is the omnibus you would buy if you don't want to collect 40 omnibuses, right? And all the continuity. Just this book would be enough, and you get a really good idea of his whole life and his stories, his important stories of Peter Parker, right? And there's even the Clone Saga, a little take on it right here. It's very interesting. I really like what they did here. If you're not familiar with it, turns out there was another Spider-Man the whole time, and he was like a clone. They kind of vaguely explains that here. I'm really impressed with this one. So we got one more to go, the Shadow. Alright, so here's this story arc. Basically it's a take on when Spider-Man had the black symbiote suit and the Venom suit. Basically, he eventually lets go of that suit, and Eddie Brock gets it and becomes Venom, right? So here it's like, what if he didn't let go of that suit and just kept it? So look, he's fighting Shocker here. Shocker's costume's vaguely different, and he's fighting Scorpion. And are you ready for this? Look at this. Boom, he ripped off Shocker's arm. Look what he did to Scorpion. He ripped off his legs. Holy fuck, right? Like, oh my god, like, it's brutal. It's brutal. So he meets up with Kingpin right here. They're having a little chat. He's like, you paid these guys to try to kill me. And look what he does to Kingpin. Boom, he slugs him. And obviously he, you know, leave that to your imagination. I really love this panel. Like, what do you think happened to him, right? It's freaking crazy. Whew. Damn. The last two stories were fire. Like, that last one with Venom. Man, like, Chip Zdarsky really had a dark take on how Peter Parker would act as Venom. That was crazy. Like, he was brutal. It was like Punisher having the symbiote, basically. But that's a what-if story, so it's not really like in continuity. It didn't really happen. It's just what he would have done with the character. But the life story, man, that one is good. In my opinion, if we're going just Spider-Man stories, that has to be in the top 10 list of Spider-Man stories. Character's been going on forever, so there's a lot of good stuff out there, but that has to be there, in my opinion. Is it there in top 10 stories of all time in comics? So many comics out there, so many comics I haven't even read, so I don't know. I couldn't be able to tell you. Again, same with Spider-Man, I don't know his stories, but I'm pretty sure once I read more and more Spider-Man, that will still be in the top 10 list. It was really good. This omnibus, I think it's definitely worth buying. It's a solid read. The time traveling story with Tinker, well, the story wasn't bad. I didn't like a lot of the time travel stuff, but it's a big part of the story, so it's kind of like, right? But there's like there's part where it's just like, oh, that's bullshit, right? Like, let's just get to the end. I started feeling that way after a while, but overall, it wasn't a bad story. It's just I don't like that trope, if you will. Overall, I think I would give this omnibus like a 9.5 out of 10 or 9.75. That's the only really thing that I wasn't digging. But other than that, the whole omnibus, the design, the rest of the stories, everything was real solid, man. Like everything was good. So yeah, I think this is a definitely buy. If you're gonna buy a Spider-Man Omni, this one could probably turn you into a Spider-Man fan if you don't already have like a bunch of them, right? Because almost everybody already is a Spider-Man fan, but if you're not too, like, you don't read the character a lot, this probably could get you to hooked, right? To get to buy more omnibuses. I'm definitely doing that. I started collecting a few. I already have like 3 or 4 Spider-Man omnibuses, so I'm definitely going down that route. I think that's all I have to say for this book. If you read it before, let me know in the comment section down below what you thought about the book. Also, if you haven't hit that subscribe button, hit that subscribe button, you know, so you can see more of these videos and stuff. I'm gonna be trying to upload at least one a week once I finish the stories, you know. And yeah, hit the like button, you know, all that regular YouTube stuff. Other than that, check you guys out next time.